The Savage Nation contains adult language, adult content, psychological nudity. Listener discretion is advised. And now, America's most exciting radio talk show, The Savage Nation, home of unprotected talk, borders, language, culture. And here he is, Michael Savage.
But owing to a certain emergency, I am here live today. Welcome to the Savage Nation. Just wanted to see if you're listening. And of course, as you well know, today is the loneliest day of the year for so many people out there who have no families. In fact, no friends. In fact, nobody to turn to but me. To all of you out there who have made the Savage Nation their home, welcome home. I guarantee you'll feel better at the end of the day of listening to me than you did right now. So I want to begin with the pardoning of the turkey. I just saw that on the television. Our esteemed leader pardoned a white turkey. I thought it was very symbolic of him to pardon a white turkey. I thought it was almost an ironic joke of the sorority to pardon a white turkey. Now, between you and I'm of a certain age. I have never seen a pure white turkey in my life. Robert, have you ever seen a white turkey without so much as a black feather in it? Or any feather of any color other than white? I don't know. Is this a clone turkey? Was this created at the NIH just for Obama's sardonic purposes? A white turkey is pardoned by the president the day after he awards the Medal of Freedom to entertainers. I couldn't believe my eyes. Do you know what the Medal of Freedom was originally created for? Well, it was about celebrating freedom. That's what I thought, so I looked it up. Why would you give a Medal of Freedom to Steven Spielberg of the Katzenberg, Ratzenberg, and Spielberg cartel? Unless he's a propagandist for you along the lines of Leni Riefenstahl was for old Adolf. I said to myself, because the Medal of Freedom was originally established by President Truman to honor civilians whose actions aided in the war efforts of the United States and its allies. It was supposed to be awarded by the Secretary of State, the Secretary of War, or the Secretary of the Navy. But it's true that Eisenhower and Kennedy also authorized awards. But this president has taken it to a new low. He has perverted the whole meaning of the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Don't you think it should have been given to a serviceman who gave his life or almost gave his life or gave his limbs for our freedoms? Of course it should have been. Instead, he gave it to Funny Girl. Funny Girl, so we can hear that she's Jewish from Brooklyn. You want my cynicism? Why would he award it to a hack like Barbra Streisand so many years after her peak? Well, for one, he gets to say the word Jewish. That appeases the Jews who become very nervous with him for him having given the bomb to Iran and for having stabbed Israel in the back. Anyway, just the thoughts of Michael Savage. Today we're going to talk about suicide. No, I'm not going to talk about it. I'm talking about it for a reason, and I'm just being a little facetious along the way. Do you remember years ago, I had a caller named Joe who called my show when he was ready to pull the trigger. He was sitting in a truck, and he was ready to kill himself. I don't know if you remember this show. It's a very, very famous show. He said, Michael, I have no reason to live, and he explained why. And I talked him off the cliff of suicide. And I'm going to play for you a 90-second version of that call because he sent me a letter, an email yesterday, which I will read you. You're going to hear what he made with his life as a result of not killing himself. And here's a message I put up on my Facebook page. Here is a message from a listener named Joe who called my show a few years ago, ready to pull the trigger and kill himself. What I learned from my religious teaching helped save this man's life. And here's what I, Michael Savage, learned from my religious teaching. It's a saying that went like this. He who saves a single life, it is as though he has saved the entire world. Isn't it odd that the practitioners of the religion of peace don't seem to remember that that's what religion is supposed to be about? Why is it that these throwbacks in ISIS, who claim to be so religiously pure, use their religion to take lives instead of saving lives? Doesn't it pervert the whole meaning of their religion? Doesn't it pervert the whole meaning of humanity? Of course it does. And so before I read you the note I got from the man whose life was saved by listening to my show, Can we play the 90-second version, please, Robert? Go ahead. Joe in Albuquerque wants to talk about suicide. Welcome to the Savage Nation, Joe.
Hi, Michael. I think you should just keep talking about it, and I want to tell you why. I've been contemplating suicide myself for the past couple of months, especially this past week. And not that I really cared about Robin Williams or any of that, but when he committed suicide, I said, well, if a guy like that could, why not me?
So what's preventing you from hurting yourself? I hope something.
Well, your show yesterday, I'm not going to say prevented me, but it did make me think about my kids and my wife.
Oh, boy. You mean before I talked about it, you really didn't even think about what it would be like for them?
I'm telling you right now, I didn't care. My problems are so overwhelming that it didn't matter. Your show made me think, and I think that more people need to think. But it is a dark world when you walk around every day wanting to take your life, and you just got to pick yourself up every day and keep going no matter what, right?
Look, listen to me. Here's the thing to remember. I mean, I'm not a religious person in any way. But the thing for you to remember is this. Just think of your children, because I heard you say that in the midst of the darkness, that's what you thought of. Now imagine what their lives would be going forward if their father was found dead with a gunshot to his head.
My son would be devastated. When you said that yesterday, I envisioned that. And then I thought about it. I'm like, my God, it's an ugly scene. And it is a...
Very much. That's right. And that's what people don't think about. They don't think about what's left behind. That's what I wanted to get across to all of you listening to this show. Many of you happen to be depressed or living with depressed people, and sometimes they mutter to you or to themselves they're going to end their lives, and you don't take them seriously. If they start to sound like they're really getting seriously thinking about that, you need to walk them through what they will leave behind, because they don't know what's left behind. And you know what triggered this, and I don't want to dredge this up again. This was soon after Robin Williams had taken his life. He lives near me. And I thought it was a selfish act, and I'll say it again because I'm not going to go back on what I said. I didn't know the man personally. I met him a few times in the street. I thought he was a very nice man. I liked him a lot. He's a sweet man. But he didn't think about the devastation he left behind. And that's what I said. A man wanted to commit suicide. Why does he do it in his own house, 3 feet away from the wife in another room? What was that about? I said it's a selfish act. Now, I was criticized for that at the time. And maybe you don't like what I'm saying now, but I can't help that. This is one man's opinion. I want you to understand what I'm trying to say to you. He who saves a single life, it is as though he has saved the entire world. This show saved a single life. We saved the entire world. Let me read you the email from Joe. Came in yesterday. Hello, I'm not sure if this is the way I can submit an email to the Michael Savage Show, but it's the only email I have, he wrote. This is the Joe that Dr. Savage helped from suicide last year. I just wanted to say thanks. So much has happened in the last year and 3 months since the show. In August of last year, I am unbelievably grateful. In that time, our business increased threefold. I was hired to write, produce, and direct a novella in the Albuquerque area. I picked up 2 more scripting jobs that are paying handsomely, and I was recently contracted to work on a film in L.A. None of this would have happened if I pulled the trigger, Michael. All those things are great. However, the most beautiful part of my life is my wife and kids. We're all together building a life together. Watching my son learning the family business, really taking the initiative, my father's dream, would not have happened if I did the act of suicide. Savage should know he did a good thing, a thing that will last a lifetime, a thing this family will always remember until the day we leave the earth. He helped a family in need, and we are so grateful. With the world falling apart and all the negativity, I just wanted Michael to know what he did for us, produced positive energy in this world. All I can say is thank you. Happy holidays to the doctor and his family, and all the folks at the Savage Nation. That's, to me, from Joe from New Mexico. And I put that up on my Facebook page. I'm not going to ask you to call me if you're not feeling good. I just wanted you to hear it, because these are very dark times. Obama is I can't go down the road right now of what I think about him. You know what I think about him. It's what I know about him. I don't just think it, I know it. And I don't even want to focus on this devil. I want to focus on some other things today on the show. I'll be back.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282. Savage.
The Savage Nation is sponsored by Swiss America, the only company I trust with my financial future. Call 800-289-2646 or SwissAmerica.com. So here we are, the day before Thanksgiving. Most normal people are not listening to the radio. They're with family, doing American things. But for the rest of you who have no family or friends, for the rest of you who have no life, who are listening to me, welcome back to the show. You know, as I sit here today, and it's a very weird day for me. I mean, the day before Thanksgiving is always the happiest day of the year for me. I've told you many times, if you listen to this show, I always hearken back to when I was 18, Queens College, New York City. I had an old XK150 Jaguar, which I was so happy to have at the time. It was 5 years old, but to me, it was my pride and joy. And I remember driving by the school and seeing my friends there, showing off the car. Just little stupid things like that. You know what I'm saying? It was always a happy day. I'm sitting here. I'm eating a lunch, a takeout job. It's in a container, GMO-free and bio-based container. Inside, I had a slice of salmon, cooked salmon. I'm looking at the broccoli. I'm looking at the carrot. I'm looking at the fork. And you know what I'm thinking? In a certain number of decades, I will not be able to eat a lunch like this. They'll tell me that salmon lives matter. Carrots lives matter. They'll tell me that the fork is somehow abusing the environment because it's made of a natural resource. The broccoli, of course, won't be grown because it's polluting the atmosphere. That it puts out too many carbon molecules or something like that, which affects Al Sharpton's ability to tie his shoes. Then, of course, the container, although it's GMO-free and bio-based, will be totally illegal in the sense that it goes into a landfill. What will they expect me to eat? I have no idea. This came to me on my Facebook from Jonathan Taylor. Savage, you are the Rodin of the radio, the Bach of broadcasting, the Mozart of the microphone. The Aristotle of the airwaves. Thank you for posting Joe's letter. It is an amazing glimmer of light bursting through a vast sea of darkness. Thanks, Jonathan. You know, I've taken to the Facebook thing. I actually enjoy reading in the wee hours of the morning when I don't want to sleep. I actually enjoy reading comments. I tend to only eliminate those that are they're not, I don't care if they attack me really. I eliminate threats, any threats of killing anyone. We don't do that. You know what I'm saying? What did you want to talk about on the show? You want some stories to get agitated with? I got them too. Would you like them? If you think I'm just going to drift through it because I didn't do my homework, you'd be mistaken. So let me start with a little piece of news that, hold on, you got to wait a minute. I got to reach all the way across the studio, and I come back with the stories that I got from last night. And here's the number one story of the day, which proves that Obama is a devil and a liar who never intended to fight ISIS. That ISIS is actually a factotum army of the United States of America. This came out last night. ISIS fuel tankers unharmed when U.S. planes run out of ammo. Have you ever heard in your life? Have you ever heard of a story like this in your whole life? The U.S. military intended to destroy every truck during a second wave of attacks on ISIS-controlled oil tankers in Syria this weekend. Army Colonel Stephen Warren said, but they ran out of ammunition first. Warren said in a news briefing the desire was to destroy every single truck there, Warren said, where he played video of ISIS fuel tankers either being shot by machine gun fire or being bombed, reports CNSnews.com. All of the trucks were targeted, Warren said, showing a video with the good shots that you'd like. Now, as you know, before hitting the trucks, the Quisling in the White House made the American forces drop leaflets warning that an attack was coming. They let the truck drivers run away. And then they ran out of ammunition. Ladies and gentlemen, do you need any further evidence that Obama's phony war is really a phony war? Do you need any further evidence that the shoot-down of the Russian plane by the Turks was coordinated with Barry's minions in the White House? What do you need to see that you haven't